Alrighty, I washed my hands. I'm back. Take my needle. And here is the actual injection. I usually look in this mirror over here to find my spot. So I'll have to walk off camera for a sec. Usually, you'll want to go 3 inches from the belly button. So it's kind of like this area and this area. And you'll want to flip every other shot. Hush. Hush. Okay. And I have learned that the quicker you do it, the less it hurts. I have horrible, horrible, horrible needle phobia. So I would always do my injection really, really, really slow. And I don't mean like the pushing down on the plunger part. I mean the actual sticking the needle in part. I would always do that as slowly as I could, and I could feel every little millimeter of it. So now I know it's to get over the fear and to get over the pain, you just have to do it without thinking about it, really. So after you've got a decent spot, you just kind of, you just kind of do it, basically, I guess. I do let the tip of the needle sit on my skin just a little bit, and I'm kind of slow when I first initially do it because the needle hasn't entered yet, but I do that to make sure that I can deal with the initial prick, because I have a lot of sensitive spots, or nerves, or, I don't know, possibly veins. Another thing I have learned is the deeper I go, the less painful it hurts during the week. So I get a 1-inch needle, and I put the 1-inch needle about halfway in at a 45-degree angle. All right. A little bit of blood there because I was talking and I didn't do it quite as quickly as I probably should. A tiny little blood is to be expected. You won't have blood every time, and you should never have a lot of blood. If you have a lot of blood, the 2 most common reasons is that you recently took a blood thinner, like aspirin, or you recently drank alcohol, which thins your blood. So if you ever have a lot of blood, don't immediately freak out, because you could have done one of those 2 things. If you didn't do one of those 2 things, then maybe freak out a little bit and call up your doctor or your nurse. And I also forgot, after you've stuck the needle in and it's all the way in, and I don't mean all 1 inch, because I only stick it about halfway in, but they don't make a 1/2-inch needle, unfortunately. I stick it halfway in, So once it's all the way in that it's supposed to be, as far in as you're going to stick it in, you pull back on the plunger just enough. It's not going to focus great, but you'll see. You just pull back on the plunger just enough to see those tiny little air bubbles. And if air comes out, you're free to inject. If blood comes out, pull it out, find a new spot. You never, ever, ever, ever want to inject testosterone into a vein. You could die. And that's one of the big reasons why I switched to subcutaneous over intramuscular. A lot less chance of hitting a vein. And very, very often when you go and do intramuscular shots, you can go through a vein. And I don't even want to get a drop of testosterone in my veins. So, yeah. Another thing is when you are extremely poor and don't have insurance, or run into situations where you may not have money, or you may not have insurance. After I've taken my needle out and I'm done with my shot and everything, I pull back on it because there's the tiniest little bit of testosterone always left in there, and I save these. I put these in a sharps container and throw those away, but these I save because there's been quite a few times where I've had to go off of testosterone because I couldn't afford it for like a month, and I'm not recommending this because it's probably not very clean. I'm just saying in case of emergency, because I've been in that emergency situation. I save these up, and I will combine like 10 or 20 of them to make a full dose. And I will inject that because nobody uses these needles but me. I use a fresh needle and a fresh syringe, but I keep everything the way this is. I'll just take this and I put it in my container. You'll see I've got a shit ton of them. If I'm ever on really fucking hard times, that's a couple of shots. And right now, I'm on hard times. And that might, unfortunately, be my reality in the next month or so if we don't get our insurance back. Because I'm supposed to have 2 more of these. And they only sent me half. So that was a month's worth of testosterone that they didn't send me, and I don't have insurance right now. So I'm kind of fucked, and I might have to go that route. I don't recommend it on a regular basis. I don't recommend it to save money. I recommend it as you have absolutely nothing. You have no way of getting anything, and that's your last resort, or else your monthly cycle will start up again. That's the emergency situation I keep that for. So do not think that I'm recommending you to do that just to save money. That is emergency only because I know the types of health hazards it could expose. But anyway, that is a full shot for subcutaneous, a safe shot, and a little bit of advice if you are on extremely hard times like I'm about to be on. No money and no insurance. And half of my prescription being sent to me. So, yeah. I hope that that was helpful for you guys, because there's not too much information on subcutaneous shots. My doctor himself had never even heard of somebody doing a subcutaneous shot, but he said if it's working and my levels are doing good, then just to keep on doing it. So I guess that's it. Hope you guys found this helpful. So Wolfgang out.